是，那其实 Tracy 啊，下次你可以告诉 Phil Goff 先生要养成收看 TV33的习惯。
We should become bigger fan of TV33. So, Mr. Palin, do you want to answer the question? We can answer that. Yeah, if you want.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you know that we know that in local media, local newspapers, all the and the ethnic newspapers, less than 1% of council's expenditure on media goes to the ethnic community, and it's not balanced. We actually need to communicate more with the ethnic community, Chinese newspapers, Indian, all those ethnic communities, and all the ethnic papers. We need to actually spend more of a balance to make it more even. And that's one thing that we should do and we have to do. Now, Wellington is actually starting to do that. They understand the importance of that, of being able to get out the information to the community, both in the newspapers and on TV, radio, and even the internet. It's very important because there's a lot of people in our community that don't speak English, and it needs to go out to the community in their language so that they understand what is happening in Auckland and that they become part of the community and they get the information. 谢谢大家。
好 ，Jesse， 我想麻烦你哈，刚才很多的人没有听清楚这个问题，你能不能用中文告诉我们在座的现场的所有的观众，你问的是什么？
好的，没有问题。大家好，那我是 TV33新西兰华人电视台的记者朱思红。那么我刚才问 Phil Goff 先生的这个问题呢，是华人在新西兰社会目前已经扮演着重要的角色。那么对于主流社会而言，华人群体的声音也就越来越重要了。那么传递这些声音便离不开华人媒体，所以华人媒体自身的发展也就显得格外的重要。那么请问是否考虑过如何更好地通过华人媒体来了解华人社会？具体是怎么做呢？
对于他们二位的发言，你还满意吗？
很满意，谢谢。
She's very happy about your answers.
Thank you.
好的，那接下来的时间呢，由我们现场的我们的商家以及我们的合伙单位来进行提问。那么，请大家举手示意我。
有哪位想要提吗？好，有请。
I have a question for Ms. Victoria Crown. Yeah. In your open speech, you just mentioned insufficient of Auckland Council. I can't agree more. I'm from building industry. In every building concern, resource concern, take ages to get approved. If you become next mayor of Auckland, what's your plan? How are you going to improve it, make it more efficient, without cause trouble, without cause a strike from the staff? 我是给这个 Victoria Crown 候选人提了一个问题是这样的。在他的这个开头的陈述当中，提到了现有的奥克兰政府的这个效率比较不好。那么我的问题就是说，我从一个 building 的这个建筑开发行业来讲，每一次的这个申请，每一次的建筑申请和资源许可的申请都花很长时间。那他如果作为下一届当选市长的话，他有什么样的具体计划来告诉我们可以提高这样的效率，而且不引起这个下面的这个反弹，不会有员工罢工？
A great question. So there's a number of things that we need to do. The first is we need to benchmark our performance against councils like us internationally. So when you look at Brisbane, for example, which is a super city, we have a lot more staff, we have a lot more debt, and all of the metrics look really poor. So we need to put the spotlight on our performance compared to internationally. Second, we need to look at areas where it's important for council to regulate and to have bylaws that protect safety and building quality, but we are going way beyond regulation and we are stopping businesses, for example, doing their work. And so what we've got to say is where we're regulating but not enabling, I call it enabling, we've got to pull that back. As an example, somebody who did some building work in their home spent $350 on a sliding door. The consent cost was $3,500, and they wouldn't sign it off until he'd painted the wall. Now, painting the wall is not part of the consent costs, so we've got to slap all of that back. It is too bureaucratic. We have too many people. We have 11,500 staff, and through the 10-year plan, we're going to add another 2,500 staff if you look at the budgets. So we've actually got to cut staff, and we've got to target areas where it is inefficient, where there's duplication of resources and where there's duplication of spend. And then the last thing is culture change. And culture change is very difficult with an organisation that big. I've done a lot of culture change in my business background with large organisations, and there is a whole approach that we need to bring to get that change through. And part of it is partnering with businesses. We need more public-private partnerships between business and council to start to drive through a much stronger efficiency mindset in our council. Thank you, Shay Shay.
他的回答还令你满意吗？
Sorry. I used to work in the New Zealand Treasury, in the part of the Treasury that was responsible for monitoring the performance of the New Zealand public health system. My job was to do the metrics and to get the data and the information to tell the ministers what's going on in the hospital, what's working and what's not. And the answer to this question is extremely simple, sir. We get the council to produce the statistics. An aged balance. These consents have been done in 30 days, these in 60 days, these in 90 days. Why are these in 120 days? What's going on there? And they have to produce those statistics every month until the statistics come right. It's as simple as that. We're not going to use the statutory time frames where they can roll over the time and go, oh, we need some more information from you, so it's another 10 days. We'll stop the clock while we wait for you to bring the information back. No, I want to know the time from the first lodge of that consent until it is issued, and I want to drive that through. And that might take more staff, it might take more training, it might take more skills, it might mean that we spend more on IT systems to make that happen. But it's an investment. It's an investment in making Auckland grow. It's an investment in helping you do your business so that Auckland can be a successful city. And if we have to invest that money, let's do it. Let's make that investment. Let's make it happen. Thank you.
I actually have a quality assurance background. I have a good understanding of systems, and I think that is what is needed, is systems audits to find out what is wrong with the process, where are the hold-ups. You actually need to look at what is happening and what is going wrong. And I do have the experience. I used to be the quality assurance coordinator for a stainless steel fabrication workshop. I have helped organise the black hole of an engineering workshop, so things were done in a proper way, been there, done it, know what to do. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
The government put me on a task force last year looking at exactly this issue, because all around the country we have this problem with consents. And actually in the area of building, we control that. Schedule 1 of the Building Act, as you'll know, is the area where discretions are possible. And what councils don't do is they don't make enough use of those discretions. And so one of the 75 recommendations that my group put to the government is to work with councils to increase that discretion. The government, we also suggested, could actually do that as well. The other change in that list, of course, is about making sure people have more accountability for making the decision and not passing the buck. Because you and I would have both got that 19-day letter, right? The clock stops at 19 days. So what we have to do is what I did when I ran the branch network for ANZ, is locate the responsibility on the front line, make it clear what the rules are, but then say to people, you've got to make good decisions, and you make good decisions by making sure we're meeting our customers' needs. So I've had experience in exactly the same sort of industry, and I know the council. So with the roadmap I've got, I'm saying very confidently that we can make progress on your issues if you elect me mayor. Thank you.
是我们的各位候选人已经提前进入了辩论环节了。
I think we all want to answer. Regulations. I talked about having a building experience, and I think that's very important. Last year alone, I had to go for 2 resource consents, and thankfully I got them very quickly. And I don't know if it's because they knew I was going to run for mayor or not, but they were working very quickly. But one of the things that I found out is that they're saving their ass. They have to make sure that they ask their boss, and their boss asks their boss, and their boss asks their boss, because they're afraid of making a mistake. Ever since we had the leaky building problems, things became really tightened up, and we go way too far. Just like with the earthquake, making buildings earthquake safe, when we really don't have many earthquakes here at all. So we have to look at the regulations, but we have to understand them. My neighbor built an extension on the back of her apartment, about 1.5 meters. She had to get 4 building permits to do it. She actually owned 3 of the apartments, but she had to do that. So what we need to do is we need to stop we need to change the culture, and we need to stop them being compliance police, and we need to get them to help people comply. And we need to actually give them the ability to make decisions. And that will actually work a lot better. Thank you.
Okay. I have to announce we're not a free debate yet.
I'd hate to think that you didn't think I had an answer to your question. Let me just give you an example of how, we've all got examples of how it affects us. I built some years ago, before the Super City, a barn. It's a versatile barn. There are thousands built like this all over the countryside. It should have been approved like that, and it should have cost next to nothing. But I ended up paying 3 times as much as the next county further south from my farm, which is just a kilometre away, was charging for its building permit. Why wouldn't you, when you've got approved builders with established track records, try to streamline the process? When they hold you up on a building consent, that costs you money, but actually it costs your consumer money because they're paying for it. So what I want to do is streamline, review and streamline and speed up that process. I want to get it right though. We are currently, meaning you, me and all of you as ratepayers, paying $300 million out in payments to people who have suffered from leaky homes. $300 million because the council and the government of the day didn't do the job right. So I want to do it right, but I want to do it properly. And the final point I'll make is this. Because we've moved from 3,000 consents a year to 9,000, you've got a whole lot of people out there that are barely trained doing the job and afraid to make a decision. And that's holding it up. We can't keep leaving it like that. That is costing home buyers money that they can't afford to pay out on it. Thank you.
Thank you, all the 6 candidates. That's the short question, but the longest answers in the world.